Welcome back to the channel, and on to the third episode of my Ironman playthrough. We're going to jump right into some woodcutting so we can work our way up to being able to use a better axe and to unlock the canoe. I actually had no idea that there were canoes in the game at all until somebody mentioned it to me, so that's one of the priorities today. We save a few ashes in the bank in case we need them for anything later on, and we just keep chopping trees and building fires for a while. It's actually nice to start off with one of the more annoying skills to work on. Woodcutting isn't too bad on its own, but firemaking was always one of my least favorite activities in the game. This time around it's not that bad, at least not in the beginning stages, so we'll see how it feels later on when we get into the higher levels. We'll take a short break from woodcutting and head back to Lumbridge to trade in our bronze axe in favor of a steel one. Not knowing how the canoe system works, I figure that I need to bring my own logs down to the tutor and create the canoe with my woodcutting axe, but it turns out you just chop the dead-looking tree next to the canoe station to make a floating log at the lower levels. We shoot back up to Varrock and head back to the trees to continue chopping and burning a bit more. At level 15 woodcutting, we can move over to the oak trees for a bit more XP and keep leveling our firemaking at the same time. With gear on and some tools in hand, we take another log ride back to Lumbridge for some questing, starting with X marks the spot. Once we dig up all the clues, there's a super cute baby pig in Draenor that I wish we could take with us, but maybe we'll come back and see him again another time. With our first quest out of the way, we can make our way to Fred the Farmer near Lumbridge and get started on the sheep shearing quest. With 20 pieces of wool collected, we can take them to the castle to spin them into balls of yarn for the farmer, and then bring those back to him to finish that up. Back again at the castle, we grab the Rune Mysteries quest from the Duke of Lumbridge. And we get that finished up after a relatively long series of kind of walking back and forth between a few places and reading tons of dialogue, unlocking access to the rune crafting skill as a reward. After all of the questing, it's time to find some goblins to terrorize while we try to find 2 more goblin males for the goblin diplomacy quest, while simultaneously leveling our melee skills. We were able to loot 1 goblin male last time, so just 2 more were needed, and unfortunately none dropped during this entire session, so those will need to get looted at the quest area north of Valador. The goblins are becoming a bit annoying, so we take another log ride back to Varrock to check out the sword shop. Ultimately, we end up with a steel longsword and sell off the bronze one from Tutorial Island. On the way back to Lumbridge to continue on goblins, we pick a few red berries to hold onto for making a red dye, and a cheeky little imp learns about safe spotting, so we begrudgingly leave him alone. Back behind Farmer Fred's house are some onions that we'll need for yellow dye, so we grab those and make our way up to Falador to talk to the gardener for some woad leaves to make blue dye. With all of our ingredients, we head back to Draenor and talk to the witch to get red, yellow, and blue dyes, and then mix the red and yellow together to make orange. We do a quick teleport to Lumbridge, and then ride a canoe to Varrock, followed by another canoe to the barbarian village, to make our way to the goblin camp where we can finish up goblin diplomacy. Our last task is round 2 in the stronghold of security, so we bring a bunch of shrimp, and for some reason gold, along with us. At the bottom, we end up going with the fighting boots to match the Ironman aesthetic, and we talk to the ghost dude and tell his sister up at the top. Our skills after this session are sitting at 10 attack, 12 HP, 17 mining, 13 smithing, 5 attack, 5 defense, 6 fishing, 10 cooking, 6 range, 11 prayer, 5 crafting, 22 firemaking, 18 woodcutting, 2 magic, and 1 rune crafting for a total level of 151 and a combat level of 10. Alright, that's all for today's run. Thanks for checking out the series, and if you made it to the end, it's much appreciated. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel to keep up with everything, and I'll see you next time.